What's going on, Cougar fans? Peter Borkowski here on the Cougar Sports Network, bringing you this edition of Coaches Weekly. And once again, I'm joined by the head coach of the CUC baseball team, Coach Connor. Welcome back to the show, Coach. Excited to talk to you today.
Yeah, always good to see you, dude.
It is, and it's been a busy couple of days for you and your squad since our last week. You had Senior Day on Saturday. Let's start there. Always a big day, Senior Day. You and your squad honored 7 seniors before the game. These are very important seniors, integral members of this team, and I know you kind of said your piece about them on Saturday, but just one more time for the camera, can you talk about what this group has meant for this team, whether they've been here for 4 years, more than 4 years, 2 years as a transfer, whatever it is, just what is the impact that this group of seniors is leaving as they move on after the season ends?
Yeah, I think, the first part of it is just every time we have a senior day, there's just a different energy to it.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about how, the parents get to see and get to be really proud of the kids. You get to see the moms, that gets to cry a little bit. And, and even to have the guys, just kind of like open up and realize how fast it's gone, all the memories in between. This is an interesting group because it's mainly transfers.
Mm-hmm.
It's guys that went to a few spots and maybe the situation wasn't what they anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to give them maybe a second and third chance. And I think it's cool when you get freshmen for 4 years, it's a little bit easier to implement what you're trying to do in the system you're trying to put in place.
Right.
When you have transfers, which myself being one when I was in college, it's a little bit more difficult to make that transition. You learn it your freshman year, you play sophomore year, you learn it junior year, you play senior year.
Mm-hmm.
So those guys have been all in since they got here, and some have had tons of opportunities, some have had minimal, but people don't understand that the impact that people can make in the program is a big deal, whether you're on the field or not.
Right.
It's about how you are around the guys. It's about helping reiterate and reinforce the culture you're trying to put into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you have guys that, like Wyatt was here for 4 years, and then Caleb was here for 5, but really he was here for 10.
Yeah.
So it was a nice mix of guys. I always really enjoy Senior Day, a little bit more each year. You just kind of take a step back as a coach and you realize what they've done for you, how they've helped the program, and kind of you hope when they walk out of here that you help them out in the same way they helped you.
Mm-hmm.
So a really long answer to your question, but those guys have done a lot of things for us.
Definitely. Well, in terms of how your team's actually playing, you guys are on, a pretty good run right now. 3 of the last 4 games have been wins for you and your team. You swept WLC on Senior Day, took 1 of 2 against a very good IIT team yesterday. And, it was, 2 weeks ago when we last spoke, we were talking about, guys were in a bit of a slump. And granted, that was a very, very hard part of the schedule. Yeah. But since then, you've kind of picked up some more wins, which, of course, you need to do at this part of the season. So, what is going well right now for your team? I know you could go in a lot of directions with that, but what is kind of helping you guys get the more wins now when you need it for the playoff push?
Yeah, I think the base of it is if you look over the last 11, we're 7-4. Since we played Aurora and we had that nice talk as a team and culture and what we have to do and what's important, we've played a lot better.
Right.
And the schedule has changed up, but I think the main thing that we've done well is just not make it bigger than it is.
Okay.
You spend all this time taking it so serious and doing all this stuff, and we've prepared them. They've prepared themselves. They care. Now we're to a spot and we're talking about like, hey, whatever happens, like who cares? Like if we struggle at a spot, we have an opportunity to make up for it. So our big thing has just been enjoying the guys, have fun while you do it, and just go out there and compete. At the end of the day, at the end of it, if we can do that, we're going to have success with it. So it's been a little bit offense at times, been a little bit defense at times. I think the main thing is just not making moments bigger than they are. When you put that additional pressure on yourself, that was what hurt us in that stretch. So just playing more free, playing more loose. Once again, it's just a game.
Right.
We've put in a lot to it. It's more than a game for us, but we're to a spot when whatever happens, who cares? Like just go play, go compete, and have fun while you do it.
Definitely. And as for these double headers, you guys are trying to make that push into one of the final playoff spots, and you got the sweep on Saturday, you split yesterday, and you split you get a win out of a split, but you need to start picking up some more wins to kind of propel yourself. So what is kind of the difference you see in your team versus those double header sweeps like WLC on Saturday versus the splits like IIT yesterday? I know I talked to Bryce Jones after yesterday's game, and he talked about maybe losing a bit of energy in game 1. So from the coaching's perspective, what needs to happen? I know you guys like to take it one game at a time, but when you go into a doubleheader knowing, hey, we got to get 2 wins here. 1 win is great, but we got to get 2 here. Just what does that mentality need to be going into those doubleheaders to pick up the more wins you need to get in those last couple playoff spots?
Yeah, it's a great question, dude. And people will ask me over about like, hey, what do you need to do? What are the standings? Where are you at? Honestly, and I can promise you this, I don't look at it.
No, okay.
I just focus on if we win and other people do what they need to do, it'll take care of themselves.
Right.
People think I'm crazy when I tell them that. But I just think if we handle our business, the things that we can control, at the end of the day, we've done everything we can.
Right.
You know, so there is some urgency to it because we know what's at stake. The other side is if you make that bigger than it is, it becomes very hard to win. You know, so it's a cliche answer. It's the same answer I gave you, but you know, if we can just really take it one at a time, and we gotta play free and play loose. Like, just go have fun, no matter what happens, whether we are up or down. Until the last out's recorded, we have a chance in every game because this team is proven we're gonna fight all the way through the end.
Right.
You know, we might start off slow, but we're gonna put up a fight towards the end. So. I think that's the hardest part to grab hold of in a season, and the fact that that's our biggest strength allows us to have success. So it's just the controllable stuff. It's just the routine stuff up to this point. You know, making quality pitches, having quality at bats, and making routine plays.
Right.
Like, legitimately, you do those 3 things, we'll be in every game.
Definitely.
So those are the biggest focuses, and I know it seems cliche and it seems like a lazy answer, but our biggest emphasis to our guys is enjoy being teammates with each other. Enjoy the fact that you get to compete. The weather's beautiful. We're playing. It's the end of the year. Just go have fun with it.
Right. Well, you have another big game today taking on North Central College, another very quality opponent. It's also the last home game of the year. You have 2 more road doubleheaders to finish out the year after this. But what's kind of, you know, purpose might sound too blunt, but what's kind of the role of today's game? I mean, it's a non-conference, super late in the season. It's, you know, it's not going to count towards the playoff standings wise, but just what does today kind of represent? Last home game, last non-con game before it's conference for the end of the year. Just going into today, knowing that, you know, this is kind of the breaking point. No, breaking point's the right word, but this is kind of the jumping off point into that home stretch of the season. So just what does today mean in terms of the role of having a non-conference this late in the season?
Yeah, I think if you can, you know, we obviously want to win the game, but when you win the game, you have some momentum going into the weekend. There'll be an opportunity for, you know, some different guys maybe that don't normally play, but I think the biggest thing is just, you know, once again, just enjoying the fact that we get to play at Thunderdome again. And just when it's one game, you only have to focus on, you know, just that one game.
9 innings, yeah.
Just makes it, it's an opportunity to just gain some more momentum as we roll into these last 4. Every game we want to win. North Central historically is a really, really good program. So I think it'll just be a good, clean baseball game that just provides you a little bit of juice as you roll into these last 4 conference games.
Right. Well, CUC taking on North Central College in the home finale of this season today at 3 p.m. Coverage can be found at our website, cucougars.com, and the live stream on our YouTube page, CUC Sports. Coach Connor, thanks again for joining me today. Good luck today and this upcoming weekend. I look forward to talking to you again next week. But until then, this is Peter Borkowski signing off of the Cougar Sports Network and wanting to say, as always,
Hello, I'm Dr. Russell Dawn, President of Concordia University Chicago. Thank you for tuning in to today's Cougar Athletics broadcast. We take great pride in the strength of both our athletic and academic programs, which are rooted in our steadfast commitment to Jesus Christ. Dedicated to the liberal arts as a foundation of a high-quality college degree, we believe education should form individuals for service to their neighbors. This makes Concordia Chicago an exciting and fulfilling place to study, work, learn, and grow. Learn more today by visiting cuchicago.edu. Thank you, and go Cougars!
Good afternoon and welcome to the Thunderdome here on the campus of Concordia University Chicago as we get set for some non-conference baseball between your Concordia University Chicago Cougars and the visiting Cardinals of North Central College. Peter Borkowski with you here on the Cougar Sports Network, joined by Kayla McLeod. And Kayla, it's a beautiful day out for some baseball. Can't think of any better weather for the home finale for the Cougars of the 2024 season, taking on a talented North Central squad, looking to pick up some momentum heading back into conference play this weekend.
Absolutely. The Cougars were here just yesterday playing a conference matchup, able to pick one win up, and weather was vastly different yesterday. It was chilly, it was windy, and it's a nice sunny day here. So we're going to see a little bit of a different game despite being played less than 24 hours apart. But like you said, a great way to pick up a little bit of momentum. This is a very, very talented Cardinal team, and the Cougars are looking to keep that momentum going off of their win yesterday as they head into today.
The Cougars split yesterday's doubleheader against Illinois Institute of Technology, dropping Game 1 before picking up the win in Game 2. Let's talk about the Cougars starter on the mound. They give the ball to the sophomore out of Manhattan, Illinois, number 1, Tyler Pritchard, coming in today, making his 6th appearance on the year. Second start, 8.31 ERA across 4 innings and a third of work. And Kayla, this kind of gives you the idea that, especially after a day you just had 2 conference games, you got 2 more coming up this Saturday. This is likely going to be a game where we see the Cougars utilize quite a few pitchers, which we've seen from them already a couple times this year.
Absolutely. They like to call themselves the night shift, the Cougar bullpen, having a bunch of guys that can kind of clock in, clock out, pitch 1, maybe 2 innings. But this is the first time in a couple years that the Cougars have seen that depth from their pitching side where they can go throw a handful of pitchers within one game. So it's something that they've been really, really utilizing so far this season, and Tyler Pritchard is one of those night shift members that's just looking to get things started here for the Cougars to start this game.
Well, the Cougars as a staff rock a 6.03 ERA. That is 5th best in the NAC, so above average for this Cougars rotation. Seen a lot of improvement this year, and their first challenge of the day comes in the form of number 5, Luke Lanin, the center fielder for the Cardinals. Takes a ball to get us underway here at the Thunderdome.
Yeah, Luke Lanin hitting a .306 on the season, a very talented leadoff man here for the Cardinals. Interesting fact here, too, Lanin, a member of the football team at North Central as well as their starting quarterback, so a very athletic member of the North Central Cardinals team.
It is a very, very good football program as they appeal down the line at no swing, so a 3-0 count to Lanin, the dual sport athlete. Lanin, a senior out of Chatham, Illinois.
Chatham, Illinois, yeah, representing the 217, home of our Director of Athletic Communications, Assistant Director of Athletic Communications, Sydney Palaskis-Laher.
Glenwood High School alum. As Lanin now takes his place at first base. So the leadoff man is on for the Cougars, and now it brings up number 19, John Michael Scumaci, who will take a ball to start off here, his at-bat.
Scumaci hitting a .274 on the season, started in 29 games, picked up 31 total hits, as well as 14 RBIs.
And now they're going to catch Pritchard for a balk here. Tried the pickoff throw to first, instead backfires, so Lanin will take his spot at second. So already no outs on the board, second batter up. North Central with a runner in scoring position in Luke Lanin. As Pritchard gets set, the 0-1 misses high, so count evened up at 1-1 now.
Lanin 10 for 11 on stolen bases, so granted we're quite early here in this game, but not going to be a surprise if we see him being a little bit aggressive on the base paths.
Meanwhile, Scumaci fouls one off, so 1-2 count. As a whole, this North Central roster has attempted 53 stolen bases on the year. They've converted on 41 of them. So this is a team who might not run as much as their opponents, but does tend to work out for them on the base paths as the next pitch is in the dirt. Getting in front of it is the backstop for today. Dom Owen, saw him start in Game 2 yesterday. Owen's getting a little bit more playing time down the stretch here, appearing in game number 8, his 4th start on the year. As Pritchard is set for the 2-2, Lanen is going to take off, and this ball is driven deep into right center. Getting under it is Eli Hickman, so Lanen has to sprint back to second base in order to tag up. So, good catch there by Hickman for out number 1. Lanen has to stay where he is at second. And that'll bring up the third hitter in the lineup, Jackson Bland, the third baseman for North Central.
Bland actually leading this Cardinals squad as far as batting average, hitting a .375 on the season. So a good man to be at the plate right now with a runner in scoring position. You already saw Lehman acting aggressive on the base path, so you can assume here that a base hit, and he's going to make the dash for home.
The first pitch to Bland, he's going to take a hack at, misses for strike number 1. Early 0-1 count on Jackson Bland, coming to North Central, a freshman from Batavia, Illinois. Making a big impact in his first collegiate season on a North Central squad who on the year, as that ball is popped up, Julio Cajigas tracking it down and making the grab for out number 2. But as a squad this year, North Central, historically a very competitive program, 12-20 on the year, 5-8 in conference play. That is good enough for 6 out of 9 teams in the CCIW. Having a bit of a meddling season, trying to pick up some momentum in this game before they run back into CCIW play. And then they'll rely on Trey Roach now. 2 outs, runner still at second. Roach, a .320 hitter in 31 games played this year, 30 of which have been starts for the outfielder. As the first pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1 count. Pritchard checking his watch that delivers the signal to him from the catcher before he throws the 0-1. That ball is going to be a hopper to Michael Kasick. He's just going to take it himself to first base for the final out of the inning. So the North Central Cardinals, they strand the leadoff runner on second, and we're going to head to the bottom of the first now. Cougars up to bat for the first time today. See what they can do when we're back here in just a second on the Cougars Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network as the Cougars up to bat for the first time today. Eli Hickman will lead us off. But first, let's talk about the hurler on the mound for North Central. It is at number 17, Andrew Bowman. Bowman, a sophomore out of Frankfort, Illinois. And so far this year, 8 appearances, all of which have been starts for the second year, an 8.15 ERA to go with a 1-2 record as his first pitch is taken away for ball number 1.
Hickman leading the Cougars at the plate with a .371 batting average. Yesterday had a pretty successful day as well. Going 3 for 4 in game 2 as he took strike 1 right there.
1-1 misses away, so a 2-1 count now on Hickman. As Bowman delivers the 2-1, Hickman swings through it, so the count evened up at 2-2. And Hickman, kind of the prototypical leadoff man, high batting average, not a ton of juice, has 1 home run on the year, but his real strength comes on the base paths, one of the sneakiest runners on this Cougars team as he fouls that off. So with Hickman, it's less a matter of putting something over the outfield wall and just getting on base and causing some havoc for the next couple batters up in the lineup.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Hickman on the base paths, 13 for 17 for stolen bases, but someone that we've seen in his career as a Cougar be the leading guy on the base paths with stolen bases. So something that he doesn't shy away from at all.
As that next pitch high and away. So good take there, makes it 3-2. Those 13 stolen bases lead the Cougars to 17 attempts, also the most on the CUC squad. The only player close is Tyler Dorsch, 12 for 14 on the year. As the 3-2 way off the plate, so ball 4, and Hickman does exactly what he needs to do, draws the walk, and puts a runner on first for the second bat and the lineup. That is Tyler Dorsch. Other than his stolen base numbers, having a great year at the plate, .339 batting average across 34 games and starts for Dorsch, as the junior now has one of the best runners on the CUC team to work with at first.
Yesterday, Dorsch had himself a game. The lone Cougar to hit a home run in game 1 against the Scarlet Hawks hit a 2-run homer to drive in 2 runs, as well as going 3 for 5 in game 2. So an all-around great day for him yesterday. Looking to continue today.
Takes a strike there, so it will be an 0-2 count on Dorsch. Dorsch also a very just mature hitter, struck out just 23 times this year. This is a guy who doesn't take a lot of bad at-bats, as this next pitch is knocked foul down the right field line, out of play. So we'll get set for the 0-2 once again. Dorsch spent last summer in the Prospect League, Summer Collegiate League, with the Illinois Valley Pistol Shrimp. He'll be back there again this summer, and I think you can tell just how much that really helped his game in terms of getting good at-bats, as the 0-2 is popped up, so we'll get set to do it again. It's out of play.
Dorsch also leads this Cougar squad in walks. Dorsch faced a handful of walks yesterday against the Scarlet Hawks, 33 on the season, which is well above the next man up, which is actually Eli Hickman over on first. So 2 of the most dangerous batters for the Cougar squad also see the most walks.
See some of the most pitches as well. Hickman had the count full 3-2, and now Dorsch, after falling an 0-2 hole, able to foul a couple off and now take a ball 1. So 1-2 coming up shortly here from Bowman as the righty gets set and now delivers the pitch. Dorsch pops that one up, drifting into foul territory and making pursuit for it is Yamada, and he's able to make the grab for out number 1. So with 1 out, a runner still on first. I'll bring up another Tyler to the plate, Tyler Crater, another junior as well. Crater so far on the season, the junior out of Phoenix, Arizona, in .298 in 35 35 games played, all of which have been starts for the CUC third baseman.
You mentioned it, Tyler Crater out of Phoenix, Arizona. Interesting to note that this Cougar squad has a handful of guys from Arizona, but what are the odds of having two Tylers from Phoenix, Arizona on a team in Chicago?
There are quite a few duplicate names on the CUC roster, as I believe there is also another Tyler on the roster besides Dorsch and Crater. I'm, of course, referring to Tyler Pritchard, the starter on the mound for CUC today. A couple Dillons as well. As the next pitch to Tyler Crater is fouled back, so we have ourselves a 1-2 count. Cougars do like to recruit from Arizona other than Dorsch and Crater. White McLaughlin, one of the main starters on this roster from Cave Creek, Arizona. Xavier Zagerman, the infielder from Chandler, Arizona, as that pitch bounces away from the catcher Nuccio. So heading over to second is Eli Hickman, and they're going to call that a passed ball. The ball bounced in front of Nuccio and then took a bounce off of him, so he had to scramble. Eli Hickman able to easily make his way to second on it. As the next offering to Crater, looks like it got him right above the hands, and it'll at least advance Hickman to throw to first is not going to be in time. A slow bouncer from Tyler Crater, and because of it, North Central not able to get the out at first. Cougars got runners in the corner, still one out on the board.
Cougars now operating with one of your fastest runners, only 90 feet from the plate. Tyler Crater over at first, also not afraid to be aggressive on the base paths. We saw him taking some stolen bases yesterday, as he is 3 of 3 on the season.
As another ball bounces away from Nuccio, Hickman's going to come home and score easily. Crater makes his way to second, and another bad pinch and bad block from Nuccio is able to give the Cougars their first run of the day. They take a 1-0 lead over the Cardinals.
I know we talked about it the entire time that Hickman was on bases, but again, having an aggressive base runner like that and taking advantage of those small gaps that you can is really crucial here, and it helps the Cougars go up 1-0 early here in the bottom of the first.
The 1-0 to Michael Kasich is fouled back. So we have a 1-1 count now. Kasich, another Arizona product on the CUC roster out of Chandler, Arizona. Number 10 in maroon, batting .259 in 35 games played so far this year. He takes a pitch high for ball 2, 2-1 now. Bowman gets set, checks Crater over at second, now delivers the pitch. That one low and away, so it will be a 3-1 count. Bowman having some issues pitching to Michael Kasich here. Julio Cajiga is another very dangerous bat on deck for CUC. So things are not going to get any easier for the sophomore on the mound as Kasich pops that one up. Yamada tracking it down and able to make the grab. Crater tagged up, started to run, but wisely turned back. As that was a good throw from Yamada. Probably would have nailed him at third. So with that fly out, that'll bring up Cajigas, Cougars left fielder. Celebrated for his senior day this past Saturday. And now has a chance to do something with a runner in scoring position. 2 outs up on the board.
Cajigas hitting a .316 on the season. Started and appeared in all 34 games for this Cougar squad. So a very reliable bat that is at the plate right now.
He will start his at-bat with a looking strike, as Bowman able to blow that one by him.
Yesterday against the Scarlet Hawks, Cajigas was 1 for 5 in game 2, but also drove in 2 RBIs. So coming in clutch in terms of getting some runs across the board for the Cougars, even if he's not hitting the best.
The CUC team has become very good this year at just driving in runs through any means. That ball takes a bounce off the turf, a high glove by Bland, and now the throw to first is in time, a little collision as well. But these Cardinals able to get the final out of the inning. The Cougars, they get one, however. Eli Hickman coming home on the pass ball. They'll take a 1-0 lead to the top of the second. We'll have more for you when we're back here on the Cougar Sports Network in just a second.
Our name's Richard. Hey Cougar fans, thank you for tuning in to today's game. For more information on the baseball program, head to cucougars.com. We hope to see you at our next game. Roll Cougs!
Taylor Kujak will lead us off here in the top of the second. The designated hitter for North Central takes a swing at the first pitch for strike number one. The pitch coming from a new Cougars pitcher. Tyler Pritchard is done after one inning. No hits, no runs, one walk, no strikeouts across 13 total pitches. And now the Cougars, they give the ball over to number 30, the senior out of Park Ridge, Illinois, Aiden Tehan. And on the year, 13.5 ERA across 3 appearances, 2 of which have been starts, 0-1 record, 4 2/3 of an inning of work so far this year for the senior. Another player honored during Saturday's Senior Day festivities. As the 1-2 is popped up into right. Dorsch has to make a chase, but makes the grab for out number 1.
Yeah, you mentioned that Tehan, one of the seniors honored during Saturday's Senior Day festivities. A handful of them, such as Tehan himself, transferred into this Cougar squad but have quickly become impact players. And Tehan himself only being here for 2 years, and as we're seeing now, being able to come out onto the mound and do what needs to be done is a huge, huge factor for the Cougars.
This is his first pitch to Dave Fitzpatrick, misses down low, but Coach Connor mentioning that during today's Coaches Weekly, whether they're 4-year members like, say, Wyatt McLaughlin, who's been here since his freshman year, or transfers like Aiden Tehan, Julio Cajigas, whose at-bat ended the bottom of the first. Everyone was able to find their role on this team, whether it be for 2 years or for 4, or even more than that, as he fires a pitch now to a strike to Fitzpatrick. I guess he always fires a pitch. That was a strike. As now he's going to take, Tien's going to take time to collect himself.
Fitzpatrick at the plate for the Cardinals, hitting a .233 on the season. Started and appeared in 28 games. Picked up 24 total hits so far this season for the Cardinals.
He takes a ball there, so evened up at 2-2. As the 2-2 is down low, so 3-2 the count now. Full count for Dave Fitzpatrick over at first today for the North Central Cardinals. As here's the 3-2. Swung on and missed, but I think he got a piece of it, actually. Just a piece of the ball. Looked like it blew by him, but instead it'll be a foul, so we'll get set for another 3-2 count.
Wind starting to pick up a little bit here at the Thunderdome, blowing straight in.
As there's an actual swing and miss. Strike 3 on Dave Fitzpatrick, so he sits down. Out number 2 for Aiden Tehan. Yeah, the flag down in right field, blowing almost directly at us. So a field that could be very home run friendly might not be the case today. Either way, ball 1 issued to the right fielder, Yuki Yamada of North Central.
Yamada hitting a .227 on the season. Only started in 4 games so far for the Cardinals, so getting his 5th start here. And looking to make an impact as the Cardinals look to get someone on base here with 2 outs now.
This is a very deep Cardinals roster. If you look at their stats, only 6 of their players, as that ball is going to be a grounder, grabbed by Michael Kasich. He has to flip it to Tehan, but he's not going to beat out Yamada. Good speed there from Yuki Yamada, able to get to first, outrace Tehan, and because of it, we have our first base runner of the inning, Yamada, standing on first base. And we'll go down as an infield single for the North Central right fielder.
Going to bring up Danny Nuccio here for the Cardinals, hitting a .194 on the season. 7 RBIs, looking to bump that up a little bit here as Yamada over on first, already looking to be a little bit aggressive on the base paths.
Yamada, 2 stolen bases on the year on his 3 attempts in his 12 games played coming into today. See what the right fielder can do here. Is there's a swing and a miss from Nuccio, so 0-2 count on the North Central backstop. Nuccio, a junior out of Plainfield, Illinois. As that pitch looked like Tian lost it way up high. Dom Owens able to go up and grab it. Keep it from getting past him, so all it results in is a 1-2 count.
Nice sunny day here at the Thunderdome. Seeing some clear skies, which we haven't seen in quite a few days here.
As here's a grounder, Munoz, and it gets by his glove through the 5-hole on the Cougars shortstop. And that will go down as an error on the freshman at short for CUC. So a 2-out single and now a 2-out error keeps the inning alive for the Cardinals. And with 2 runners on, 2 outs, it'll be Frankie Valley, the shortstop for North Central, as he's going to look at the first pitch low for ball 1. Valley, 150 average across 12 games played coming in today. 3 for 20 at the plate. As the next offering is foul towards the CUC dugout. So, 1-1 count on the shortstop for North Central. making sure Yamada stays where he is at second. That pitch blown away from Valley, so 2-1 the count.
This North Central squad, a pretty talented team, their most recent outing resulting in a win over the nationally ranked Benedictine Eagles. In that game, Valley 0 for 3 at the plate.
As here's a throw to second, the tag is in time. Heads up play from Dom Owens and Munoz at short. Making up for his error, they get the runner, and that'll do it for the second inning. The Cardinals, 2 runners on, 2 outs, can't do anything about it, so we will head to the bottom half of the inning now. Cougars still up 1-0 on the Cardinals. We'll have more for you in just a second on the Cougars Sports Network.
Cougar Nation, it's your favorite set of twins, Brandon and Jake. We're coming at you with a commercial.
We love the support you give us on and off the field. To donate to our athletic communications department, hit the thank you button. This helps us continue to have the best live streams possible for some great Cougar baseball moments.
Thank you and enjoy the game. Roll Cougars!
Bottom of the second here for the Cougars, and they will lead off the offensive with the catcher, Dom Owens. And Owens, despite him only appearing in now 8 games on the year, this is the second straight start we've seen out of the sophomore backstop for CUC. Coach Connor and the coaching staff much like something they're seeing out of him in this late stretch of play.
You mentioned it yesterday. Owens got the start in Game 2 against Illinois Tech, the game that the Cougars won 11-7. In that game, he was 1 for 4 at the plate, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, but hitting a .333 overall this season.
He's going to take ball 3 down by his feet, so 3-0 count. Bowman still on the mound for North Central, as now the righty gets set. Delivers that ball, right past the kneecaps of Owens. Able to get out of the way of it just in time. The count now 3-1. As here's the pitch, and almost the exact same spot. So Owens draws a walk. Second straight games, he's led off his day with a free base, and with him on first, nobody out, it'll now be Nick Rensberger, the designated hitter for CUC.
Rensberger hitting a .238 on the season, 11 overall appearances, 7 starts. Been a really big component in this fluctuating DH spot for the Cougars. We've seen a handful of players making an appearance here. Nick Rensberger, one of the 3 that have been in that consistent rotation.
Rensberger, a pair of home runs on the year as well, as he'll take strike 1 there, 1-1 count.
Rensberger, another one of those transfers that Coach Connor was talking about in his Coaches Weekly this week, coming in and making an impact despite having a little bit less time than some of the 4-year seniors to start to fit the mold of this squad. Came in, hit the ground running, and like I mentioned, been a huge impact in this DH role.
Right now faces a 1-2 count as Bowman delivers. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. So Rensberger will sit down, representing out number 1, and with the runner still on first, it will now be number 26, Alejandro Munoz, shortstop for CUC, the freshman out of Evergreen Park, and another start here, and that'll be start number 18 on the year, as he's another player kind of like Owens, but to a larger extent, who's been getting more playing time as the year has gone along.
You saw Munoz kind of start this season off in that shortstop role, and then start to saw him kind of find his way out, and then slowly working his way back up into this lineup. In the last couple games, he's been a huge component. We saw him make some very athletic plays in the field yesterday against Illinois Tech and have some huge hits that have kept the Cougars going in some critical moments.
.313 batting average for Munoz across 67 at-bats, as here's a hopper, and it's get past a diving Scamachi. So that'll be a single for Munoz and put runners on first and second for the 9-hole hitter, Yashawn Boswell. Another CUC transfer, this one in his first year of play in the maroon and gold.
Boswell hitting a .304 on the season, one of the few players that has started and appeared in all 34 games for the Cougars. 31 total hits on the season. We've seen him lay down some very, very successful bunts, something that you can potentially expect to see here as well.
Well, take the first pitch low and away. No sign of bunt on that, but Boswell, speedy player, so we could see him pull it out of his back pocket. And here's the one. Oh, he's going to check his swing, but it was still a called strike, so 1-1 the count now on the CUC second baseman.
Boswell been a little bit all over the place for the Cougars, played both of the inner infield positions. We saw him in the shortstop role when Munoz wasn't in the lineup for the Cougars, and then shifting back over to second base, where we saw him start out the season, and he's made his return there now.
So the middle infield, really the main positions that we've seen change in the Cougars' defensive lineup. The outfield usually is Cahigas, Hickman, and Dorsch left to right. Crater and, ooh, that pitch hit him off the hands, I believe. Yes, they are going to say it. Hit him. So Boswell will take his base at first. One of those pitches that looks like it could have hit the bat as well, as he's inspecting his left hand. The umpire taking a look at it as well, and officially given the sign to take his base at first. So hit by pitch, loads the bags for CUC. Boswell at first, Munoz at second, and Dom Owens over at third. And now to bring up the leadoff hitter for CUC on the day, Eli Hickman drew a walk in his first at-bat. Got two bases off a passed ball, two pass balls, I should say, and eventually came and scored the lone run of the day. Now he's got a chance to make something happen with the bags loaded, but in the meantime, head coach of the Cardinals, Ed Matthew, having a chat with the home plate umpire, Just Fahey, trying to figure out if it actually did hit his hand or if it hit the bat. Kind of sounded like it was the bat, the way it sounded, but Boswell clearly got hit in the hand.
Yeah, you can see them inspecting his hand after he started to make his way to first, and with the umpire holding strong in this decision, you can assume that he could potentially see where that ball was hit off of Boswell's hand, and we're going to see bases loaded here with Hickman at the plate.
As the first pitch to Hickman takes for a strike, it looked high and away. The umpire going to say that Bowman caught the corner. So an 0-1 count now on Hickman to start. The next offering fouled off, 0-2 the count now.
As we saw in the early goings of this game, Cougar mascot Charlie T. Cougar threw out the first pitch for the Cougars, and he's made his way into the stands here supporting this CUC baseball team. as they continue to work through this. A big surprise to the athletic communication staff today to see Charlie T. Cougar out and about.
And he missed the strike zone, but it did have some velo on it, so I think a possible tryout could be in the works.
I think
pretty impressive with those paws too.
I think between the massive paws and the oversized head causing a little bit of a sightline issue, I would say that that's cause for a tryout for sure.
Meanwhile, back at home plate, Hickman swings through and strikes out. So 2 outs now. Bag still loaded. It'll be up to Tyler Dorsch to try and make something happen here. Dorsch flew out to right and foul territory in his first at-bat. He'll try and reach base for the first time today. Hopefully drive a run or two in. Pops that one back foul.
Ball bounced right off of the concession stand locker room roof with quite a bit of force on it.
Looked like it was bouncing off a trampoline.
This Cougar team, a very successful team operating with 2 outs. We've seen some really big things happen, especially at the Thunderdome when operating with 2 outs. A little while ago, earlier in the season, Cougars took some massive wins over Dominican, and the bulk of those runs came with 2 outs. Saw some good things happen yesterday against the Scarlet Hawks again with 2 outs, so not something that the Cougars shy away from in these situations.
2-1 count now on Dorsch. Again, especially when you have mature batters like Tyler Dorsch at the plate, they usually know how to keep their composure, knowing that they have to reach safely. As a 2-1, that one is driven into deep left center. That ball is still going back. It's got a chance. Gone. Tyler Dorsch, how about a grand slam with 2 outs? And the Cougars strike big here in the second inning. They are going to take a 5-1 lead. Charlie T. Cougars fired up. Everyone is. Tyler Dorsch with the biggest hit of the day so far.
I think that one deserves a bingo, bango, bongo. That ball was launched out of here and over Division Street. And that's how you get things going here for the Cougars. Like I said, operating with 2 outs, having an experienced hitter like that, waiting and being selective of his pitch and finding exactly what he wanted and sending that ball long over the left field wall.
Dorsch drives himself in as well as Dom Owens in that ball. That one's going back. It's got a chance too. It's gone. Tyler Crater back-to-back home runs for the Tylers. And the Cougars just keep piling it on and is now 6-1 in favor of CUC. They have had a chance to finish introducing Crater before he sent that ball on the Division Street as well. Wanted to give Tyler Dorsch's home run ball a friend. And it is now 6-1 Cougars.
What a beautiful day to be a guy named Tyler from Phoenix, Arizona at the Thunderdome.
First baseman number 10, Michael Kessick.
Well, let's see what Michael Kessick can do now. Back-to-back home runs, and he'll take a pitch for a strike. Bowman got to be a little bit rattled out there, the sophomore, giving up back-to-back shots for a total of 5 runs given up here.
Still nobody working in the Cardinal bullpen right now. Interesting to note, they're giving a lot of faith here to Bowman to get himself out of this situation and keep working through even a little bit of those back-to-back home runs are an easy way to rattle a pitcher, but Cardinals pitching staff have a lot of faith in Bowman here to get through that.
1-2 count on Kessick on the season. Bowman came into today giving up 4 home runs across 35 and a third innings of work, and in 2 pitches he gave up 2 more as that pitch is way high and over the head of Kessick. So count now 2-2 on Kessick. As the next offering taken low and away, full count, 3-2.
Full count now here with 2 outs.
There's the pitch. And it's going to be a hopper grabbed by a third baseman, and they ruled it fair. Michael Kasich thought it was foul. He didn't even take off running for first, still the bat in his hand. Meanwhile, the Cardinals throw it across the diamond to get out number 3. A little confusion, but the Cougars, despite the confusion at the end, able to drive in 5 more runs. Grand slam from Tyler Dorsch and a solo shot from Tyler Crater right after. And that will make it 6-1. So we head to the top of the third now. Cougars on top of the Cardinals. We'll have more for you when we're back here in just a second.
Cougar fans, thanks for tuning in to today's broadcast. For all things Cougar baseball, head to Twitter or Instagram, type in CUC Baseball, and you'll find our page.
Or visit cucougars.com. Thanks again. Go Cougs!
Some defensive changes for the Cougars here in the top of the third. In right field, Connor Drakaitis enters the game for CUC. As that ball is driven deep into right. Drakaitis making chase back, and that is going to take a hop off the wall, and it'll be at least 2. It'll be only 2 for the leadoff man, Frankie Valley. So a leadoff double, 1 pitch, and it went all the way back to the wall. But Connor Drakaitis, the new CUC right fielder, he pushes Dorsch from right over to the left. That's where we saw him most of the time last season. And now on the mound for CUC, another transfer to this squad, a first-year transfer in Connor Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, 10.80 ERA and 6 appearances. As that ball's going to go in the dirt for ball 1.
Lanen at the plate for the Cardinals. Saw a walk in his first appearance today, looking to get his first hit here, and already with a runner in scoring position, sitting in a really good spot. 14 RBIs on the season, looking to tack another one on here.
And that is gloved by Munoz, and they're going to turn 2. Unassisted double play for Munoz as Frankie Valley got caught in between the bases. Looked like he thought that was going to be a hit. Munoz said otherwise, caught the liner, stepped on the bag for 2 outs. And that is a great way to get a lead runner at second out and make it 0 outs into 2 outs.
An unfortunate turn for Valley. You know, that ball was hit with some force, what seemed to be in the gap, and Munoz able to get over and grab that line drive out, and you saw Valley kind of turn to make the attempt back at the base, but it was no use as Munoz was well ahead of him.
Also took a slip and fall, so he was out by a mile. Probably would have been out anyways, but falling definitely did not help Frankie Valley. And as the next offering, that one is popped up into right center. Coming in to grab it is Drakaitis for out number 3. So despite the leadoff double, only 3 batters come up to the plate for North Central. And we head now to the bottom of the third. Cougars, they're looking to tag on more. They're up 6-1 on the North Central Cardinals. We'll be back on the Cougar Sports Network in just a second.
Hey there, Cougar fans. We appreciate you turning in today's game. To stay up to date on all things CUC baseball,
follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CUC Baseball.
We'll see you on campus soon.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
The new CUC right fielder will lead us off here in the bottom of the third. The freshman out of New Lenox, Illinois, Connor Jerkitis, listed as a catcher on the roster, seeing time in the outfield here in this non-con against North Central. 5 games appeared and only 2 at-bats for Jerkitis coming into today as he gets a look at Bowman. Issues him strike 1 on the first pitch.
Jerkitis still looking for his first collegiate hit here so far on the season. Like you mentioned, only 5 appearances, 2 at-bats, and he's been 0 for 2. So the freshman chasing his first hit here and having a really good opportunity to do so.
Still no one in the pen for North Central. Bowman is back out there. And it looks like his coaches are just going to try and let him ride this one out. There's a strike issued, 1 and 2, already giving up 6 runs through 2 innings of work. Thanks in large part to the Tyler Dorsch grand slam last inning. As he gets set for the 1-2 to Jerkitis, and Jerkitis just fights it off, so he'll stay alive for at least 1 more pitch.
Bowman so far today, 57 total pitches thrown, as in under 3 innings pitched so far. So he's been not only battling in general, but battling through every at-bat. The Cougars being aggressive at the plate and making him pitch extra to each batter. And it's starting to show as that one kind of went a little wild there.
Yeah, not a lot of quick at-bats for the Cougars yet today. As Kale mentioned, they are making him work, whether it turns into a base appearance or not. Pitches that one way outside. So another example here, full count to Connor Jerkitis. As the 3-2 knocked foul. Good fight there from the freshman at the plate for CUC. And you'll get to see another one coming up.
A little bit of a quiet day here at the Thunderdome. Some empty seats in the stands. Not something that typically you see, especially for these midweek games in the afternoon. As we near 4 o'clock, this is kind of the prime time that Cougar fans are able to make it.
As there's a hit up the middle. First collegiate base hit for Connor Jerkitis. And a good at-bat as well. Fought back from being down in the count. Turned into a full count. And he gets his first college hit at the end of it. So he puts a runner on for Dom Owens. Still no outs up on the board.
Like you mentioned, his first collegiate hit, and that's exactly how you want to get it after making a comeback from being down in the count to coming back, making this pitcher pitch to you and then sending one up the middle. A great at-bat for the youngster.
Owens lifts that one into left, and making the grab, no problem, is Roach. So that'll be out number 1. At home plate now for CUC. At the plate is Nick Rensberger. Struck out swinging last inning in his first at-bat. See what he can do here with the runner on. 1 out on the board. First pitch, he's going to take high and in for ball number 1.
We mentioned Rensberger being one of those key DH guys for this Cougar squad, hitting a .238 on the season. Only 5 total hits amongst that, though.
That ball almost grazed him. Looked like it was less than an inch away from catching his elbow guard on his left arm. Instead, he's able to stick in there for another pitch. And as he knocks that one back foul, we're set to do it again. 2-1 the count.
Last home game here of the season for the Cougars at the Thunderdome, somewhere they've played really, really well all season. Not only that, but have a really good fan base that typically shows up and shows out. Thunderdome, somewhere that can be really hard to play as an opposing team just because of the environment that the Cougar fans bring here.
So you see 7-6 at the Thunderdome on the season. And here's a pickoff throw to first, no good. Diving back in safely is Drakaitis. That home record vastly better than their away numbers, 3-7 when they are on the road. This team does substantially better in their home environment as that pitch is low. Good take there by Rensberger to fill up the count. 3-2 now.
Especially as the Cougars are heading into these final conference games coming up in the next week. Both of those doubleheaders being played on the road, something like you mentioned, the Cougars not playing exceptionally well.
Here's a bouncer up the middle. Valley steps on second for 1 out, throws the first for the second. So the Cougars, their inning ends on a double play ball from Nick Rensberger. And we will now head to the top of the fourth, a third of the way through today's game. CUC still holding on to a 6-0 lead over North Central. We'll have more for you when we're back here on the Cougar Sports Network in just a second. New pitcher on the mound is a freshman, number 13, Mike Jones, out of Shorewood, Illinois. The righty on the year for CUC has made 5 appearances, a 10.38 ERA across 4 1/3 of work. As his next offering is away, so count now at 1-1 on Jackson Bland.
Bland flew out to left field in his first appearance at the plate today, but overall leading this Cardinals squad, a .375 batting average, 48 total hits as he's chasing his first hit here.
2-1, fouled off, so count evened up at 2-2. Bland will be followed up by Trey Roach and Taylor Kujak. Those 3 all guaranteed at-bats this inning. As the next offering to Bland is popped up, and it's going to drift out of play. So we get set to do the 2-2 once again. As here's the pitch from Jones, and just outside, so 3-2 count now.
As I was mentioning before, this single game in the afternoon, not something that Cougar fans are familiar with. Mostly seen double headers during the weekday, so a single game non-conference, a little strange for them.
In the meantime, Bland wears it off the right thigh, so he's going to take his base at first. A full count hit by pitch for the North Central third baseman. Puts the leadoff runner on. Third time in 4 innings that the leadoff runner has gotten on for North Central, and with no one out, it'll bring up Trey Roach, who grounded out to Michael Kasich to end the first inning. As the first pitch to Roach swung on and missed for strike 1. Big swing there from the left fielder for North Central.
Yeah, you mentioned Roach grounding out in his first at-bat, but the second highest batting average on this team with a .320, so surprising that he hasn't gotten one here today and already looking at an 0-2 count.
To count for Trey Roach against Mike Jones Jr. Here's the pitch, and that one is lined into right center field. That's going to touch down for a base knock. Roach is going to try and stretch it into 2, and he will, no problem. So a double by Trey Roach and puts Jackson Bland on third. 2 runners in scoring position, still nobody out, with Taylor Kujak strolling up to the plate now. The DH flew out to right to start off the second inning.
Like I was saying, not surprising that Roach was able to get a double to fall out in right center like that. In there, the Cardinals' last game against the Eagles, he was 3 for 5 at the plate with 2 RBIs. So a really hot hitter for this Cardinals squad.
First pitch to Kujak, holds off on for ball 1. Looked like he started a swing, able to cut it off really quickly. So 1-0 count on Kujak. And here's the next offering from Jones. And that ball lined out to Yashawn Boswell at second. And that is a good first out for CUC. Doesn't advance to base runners, which of course means no runs scored for North Central.
First baseman, number 21, Dave Fitzpatrick.
Cardinals so far today been 1 for 7 with runners on and 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. But seeing this both have runners on and in scoring position here early in the inning, only 1 out, some opportunities for them to capitalize on that and change that stat here.
And that ball is driven into left. Dorsch gets under it. Tagging up is Bland. He's going to go for it. The relay throw, not in time. It's pocketed by Crater. So there is our first run of the day for North Central. Comes via sac fly by Dave Fitzpatrick. And that makes the score 6-1. Runner still in scoring position with Trey Roach on second.
Great defensive play there from Crater. Instead of making that throw to home when Bland was already at the plate, pocketing that and keeping the runner at second, instead of making that throw and allowing allowing Roach to make his way to third.
So now Mike Jones Jr., the Cougars defense, just has to worry about one more out here with Yuki Yamada at the plate. He got the first hit of the day for North Central back in the second, as that throw in their own 2 count, eventually picked off at second. Back pick from Tom Owens had ended the inning. As Mike Jones Jr. His pitch fouled off. So Yamada will stay alive. Jones delivers. That pitch fouled. So Yamada, another 2-strike foul ball. And he goes fishing on that one. Comes up with nothing. Strike 3. Mike Jones Jr. A strikeout to end the inning, but the Cardinals, they get 1 run back, an RBI sac fly from Dave Fitzpatrick. So we head now to the bottom of the 4th. CUC still on top of the Cardinals 6-1. We'll have more for you when we're back here on the Cougar Sports Network in just a second.
I'm Connor.
No, I'm Connor. Wait, I'm Connor. Do you know where I can find more about Concordia Chicago?
Yeah, head to cuchicago.edu to find out more.
We appreciate you guys tuning in to our game today. Hope to see you soon. Go Cougs. Hi, Mom.
Alejandro Munoz will lead us off here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Cougars looking to add on to their 5-run lead here. 6-1 over the North Central Cardinals. Munoz, Boswell, and Hickman will all get at bats this inning. After that, we'll have to see. Munoz himself a single in the 2nd inning. Eventually came home on the Tyler Dorsch grand slam. And he's looking to get on base for a 2nd time in as many at-bats. As the pitch from Bowman in there for a strike.
Bowman still working on the mound here for the Cardinals. 72 total pitches thrown.
They do have a couple guys moving around in the bullpen. No one throwing yet. Everyone's still wearing their warm-up hoodies. So we'll have to see. It might be Bowman's last inning if he gets through it cleanly. Able to shape things up last inning. Only faced 3 batters, thanks in large part to a double play ball from Nick Rensberger. As he now has a 1-2 count on Munoz. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 2, 2-2.
Not only does this mark the Cougars' last home game of the season, but it's their last non-conference game.
And before we get to that, Munoz hitting a ball into right field for another base knock. He's got 2 singles and as many at-bats. He puts a leadoff runner on for Yashawn Boswell. But as Kale mentioned, this is the Cougars' last home game, last non-conference game as well. And they only have 2 more doubleheaders left in this year. They're off almost all of next week before finishing up the season with a doubleheader at CU Dub on Friday.
Cougars have had a really tough non-conference schedule. Saw some really good teams when they were playing down in Florida, most notably the College of New Jersey, a team that was receiving votes when the Cougars played them and then going on, continuing in their non-conference schedule. They played Willamette University here at home, another team that was receiving votes in the top 25. So the Cougars played some really strong non-conference matchups so far this season. And this North Central team is another team that's been a very strong team so far.
And the Cougars have done pretty well at it. 9-13. Excuse me, 8-7 in conference play so far this year. So they've come out of it better more often than not.
Cougars, in addition to playing some non-conference ranked opponents, 2 fellow NAC schools nationally ranked so far Aurora University Spartans, as well as the Benedictine Eagles. And this North Central team stole a game from the Eagles, so seeing a lot of good competition across the board.
And there's a ball. It gets past a diving Bland down the left field line. Munoz is going to take off for third. Is he in safely? He is not. Good relay throw from Roach into third. Able to gun Munoz down as a double by Sean Boswell. Almost put two in scoring position, but a good throw keeps Munoz off third. Runner at second, one out for CUC.
A really good relay from the Cardinals out there. A well-placed throw from Roach to get that ball in quickly. That ball was placed right up the line with a little bit more juice that potentially could have gotten past Roach and gone a little bit further into the outfield, but Roach played it really well and was able to get it in quickly and secure that out at third.
Ball knocked foul by Eli Hickman. If the Cougars can regain what was a 6-run lead here, North Central starting to cut into that a little bit. We're on the top of the inning. Boswell some good speed at second, so Hickman likely just needs to put this ball past the infield. As now it's 1-1 on Eli Hickman, who himself 0 for 1 on the day. A walk in the first, came home to score a run, and then a strikeout swinging in the second. And here's the 1-1. Curves in there for a strike. Nice pitch from Bowman. 1-2 count now on Eli Hickman. At risk of striking out for the second time in a row. Here's the pitch. Hickman, that's going to be a bouncer, and it's going to get past Skumacha. Here comes Boswell. The throw to home is past the catcher. Boswell's in safely. Hickman's going to take off for second now. There's not even going to be a throw from Nuccio. Cougars get another run RBI single from Eli Hickman, and he ends up on second on the throw. That makes it 7-1 in favor of CUC.
You called that, Peter. You said that with Boswell's speed, Hickman likely just needed to get a ball past the infield, and that was not a very hard hit ball. It was hit into shallow right field, just able to sneak through into the outfield, and Boswell was ready to make that dash and didn't slow down a step as he was rounding third and successfully able to get in.
And here comes a mound visit now. Haven't seen a motion to the pen yet. Coach Matthew of North Central might be trying to give his arm a little bit more time in the pen, as there's a player, warm-up gear on throwing. Might also just be trying to get out of the inning without using another pitcher. But you have Tyler Dorsch at the plate, who hit a grand slam in his last at-bat. A big chunk of the damage CUC's inflicted on Bowman today.
Matthew, when coming out to the mound, the entire infield came in and he shooed them away, wanted to have just a one-on-one conversation with Bowman out there, obviously leaving him in to get his way, to work his way out of this inning, wanting to have that one-on-one conversation and try to calm his arm down a little bit and get his head back into this. As a loose ball from the Cougar bullpen makes its way down here. Michael Kasich with a rocket of a throw back to the bullpen.
Good arm on the first baseman for CUC. Meanwhile, the Cougars, now left fielder, takes a strike looking.
Kasich actually came into CUC as a pitcher, so not surprising to see a rocket of an arm on him. Was initially a top recruit as a pitcher in the state of Arizona.
As this ball gobbled up by Valley, the throw to first is just in time. Dorsch trying to extend to get there, but the throw from the North Central shortstop just beats him out. 2 outs, runner still at second. Now it'll be Tyler Crater, solo home run, his last at bat in the second inning. See what he can do here. His third time up against Bowman. He's got the home run and he's got the single. So he's halfway to the cycle. And he needs to reach safely to keep the inning alive. First pitch, and it gets past Nuccio. And Eli Hickman, with his speed, is going to easily cruise into third base. So another passed ball on Nuccio. He's had a couple of those already today. So another run just 90 feet from the plate. See what Tyler Crater can do with it. 1-0 count.
Wind starting to pick back up a little bit. It was dying out in the last inning. Still starting to pick up. Unfortunately, blowing straight in once again. But with the sun out, it's still a beautiful day here in River Forest. Seeing the stands kind of fill up a little bit more. Lots of iced Dunkin' coffees, some boba tea in the stands. Lots of summery drinks making their way.
.30 count now on Tyler Crater. You know, it'd be really nice if they had just like a full kind of concession out here at Cougar Field. All sorts of beverages as Tyler Crater takes his base at first. Maybe different kinds of food, sandwiches, salads, whatever you want.
Absolutely.
Would really add to the vibe of the field.
Campus of Concordia University Chicago, we have what's known as Big Cats in the lower level of the KCC. It's nice little fast food and stuff, and maybe getting them to come sponsor the concession stand, get some of their delicious buffalo chicken wraps, like you said, salads and stuff, to come out here, make their way out to the field, and, you know, add to the atmosphere.
Could all be in the future works. Meanwhile, for the Cougars back on the field, Michael Kasich fouls off the first pitch. As the next offer, and he's going to swing through off speed. Got him. Tyler Crater takes off for second. He's safe. Eli Hickman comes home and scores. The double steal works to perfection for CUC. Nuccio throwing down to second to try and catch Crater, and Hickman had all the time he needed across home. If you're Nuccio, you have Hickman at third. I think you just got to pocket that ball, let Crater take his base, because Eli Hickman, there's no catching him once that ball was headed towards second.
Tacking on, like we mentioned, Hickman, the top base runner for the Cougars, so it's not surprising to see him take that opportunity. Crater, not necessarily a threat on the bases. That was only his fourth stolen base of the season, but he's got the speed, so it's not surprising that he was able to get in and slide under that tag.
Cougars trying to create some chaos here with a pair of outs on the board. Tyler Dorish grounded out, and then Alejandro Munoz was thrown out at third, as it is a 1-2 count on Kasich.
Cougars so far today, 2 for 4 with 2 outs, and 3 for 7 operating with a runner in scoring position.
And Kasich just stays alive, got just under that ball. Fouled it off. 8-1 ball game here. Bottom of the fourth, 2 outs, runner on second. The next pitch, Kasich. That one dribbles into left field, and they're going to send Crater around third, and the throw is well in time. A risky run from Tyler Crater. And again, the North Central outfield has done some pretty good work throwing. They get the out at home for out number 3. We head now to the top of the fifth. CUC well in control of this one. 8-1 is our score as we head to the next inning. We'll be back here on the Cougar Sports Network in just a second.
Down through the ages, God has called and equipped people to make a real difference in the lives of others. To lead, to heal, to stand tall. For 160 years, Concordia University Chicago has been preparing the next generation of leaders with the wisdom, faith, and values to make an impact in the world, to share the gifts God gave them and answer the call to a life fulfilled by purpose and truth, to be living examples of what it means to live with Christ at the center as we serve others. Because at CUC, we don't run away from adversity, we go towards it. We don't shrink from our faith, we lead with it. We are teachers, caregivers, and musicians, scientists, pastors, and business leaders, unshakable pillars of strength and integrity who serve a cause greater than ourselves. And the world needs us now more than ever. Learn how a degree from Concordia University Chicago can help you be the pillar the world needs to stand for something greater. The only question is, are you ready to stand tall?
Back here on the Cougar Sports Network as we get set for the top of the fifth. New pitcher on the mound for CUC. It is number 47, David Gutierrez. Meanwhile, Mike Jones Jr., his day's done. 1 inning, 1 hit, gave up an earned run and a strikeout across 18 pitches. Now they give the ball over to Gutierrez. 4.73 ERA and 12 appearances, all of which have been relief for him. And 13 innings and 1/3 thrown so far for the Cougars. Lefty on the mound, and he issues a first pitch strike to Danny Nuccio.
Mike Jones closing out the last inning for the Cougars. 1 inning pitched, giving up 1 hit, 1 run with 1 strikeout. So an overall good outing for the youngster. 18 total pitches thrown. So Cougars, like we mentioned at the start of this game, working their way through the night shift and getting things going here.
I think the night shift would really be complete if we got some lights out here as well. As here's a grounder to Munoz, throws over to first in time for the out. Especially if you had some night games, you could shut the lights out, have a little light show. Of course, you'd have to install some electrical panels to make it work, but you could put it next to the cafe we're bringing out here as well.
Absolutely. I mean, the city of River Forest, not too fond of those bright lights, but something that you could potentially make a petition for, maybe shoot some texts out to the residents of River Forest and see how they feel, maybe take a survey and get things going, because some lights here would be fantastic.
I think they'd see how sick it could look and might change their minds, as there's another strike issue due Frankie Valley. The 0-2 outside, so we're going to 1-2 count now on Valley. Hit a leadoff double in the 3rd inning. Was caught in a double play. As that ball is hit into right field, and making the grab is Jerkaitis. Nice move for the guy who came here as a catcher. Able to get in, slides feet first for the grab, and that'll be out number 2.
What a fantastic play from the freshman out in right field, putting an end to Valley's at-bat. What looked like a really well-placed ball, but the true athleticism of the youngster showing out there in right field to be able to grab that ball.
So 2 outs after 2 batters, and it'll now be the leadoff man, Luke Lanin. 0 for 1 on the day. A walk and a line out that turned into a double play. That was a double play that caught Frankie Valley. As here's the first pitch to Lanin. That misses high and away for ball 1. And Lanin, that grounder, it's blocked by Crater. He has to scoop it up. The throw to first is not in time. Luke Lanin able to leg it out. The ball hit Crater in the chest, and they had to play it off the rebound. So we'll have to see what they officially rule it as.
Second baseman, number 19, John Michael Scumaci.
And it's going to go down as an error on Crater. So Lanen able to keep the inning alive off the CUC error. And now a 1-0 count on John Michael Scumaci. As Scumaci shows bump, pulls back. Owens, the throw to first, not in time.
That's something we've seen these Cougar catchers been very aware of this season, is some slow runners getting back to the base, trying to capitalize on it. Cougar catcher Brandon Mahler, one of the few that have been very successful at getting those pickoffs on the way back. Seeing Dom Owens attempt it there, taking advantage of Lane and getting back a little bit slow and maybe not paying quite as much attention to Owens as he should be.
As that ball skyrocketed into the air, major league pop fly. Boswell looked like he had to adjust himself. Makes the grab in the end for out number 3. And that'll do it for the top of the 5th. CUC, they keep North Central off the board for another inning. It is still 8-1. And we'll come back in just a bit. Bottom of the 5th coming up. Cougars back up to bat. We'll have that for you in just a second on the Cougars Sports Network.
CUC nursing student and choose to stand tall for healing at a university that places Christ at the center and embraces teaching students to live a life fulfilled by purpose and meaning. Concordia University Chicago's new Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree is an innovative and rigorous 4-year program that will prepare you to rise to the daily challenges of a rewarding nursing career and serve a greater cause. Our newly built modern simulation center features 4 distinct spaces: a skills attainment lab, multi-specialty intensive care spaces, a health assessment learning center, and a simulated home environment. Due to our close proximity to many world-class teaching hospitals, CUC's clinical rotations offer an abundance of diverse and real-world experiences. Learn more about earning your BSN at a Christ-centered university today.
Coming up to bat for CUC and kicking us off here is Connor Drakaitis.
Right fielder.
Drakaitis in his first at-bat came in the 3rd inning and a single, his first career hit. And now he goes up against a new arm on the mound for North Central as he immediately goes swinging on the first pitch. It's fouled back, still going back out of play, bounces off the top of the CUC dugout for strike number 1. New arm on the mound for North Central is at number 33, Sam Corbett, senior out of Park Ridge, Illinois. So far on the year, the lefty 3.86 ERA and just 3 appearances, 7 total innings pitched as he gets Drakaitis swinging on strike number 2.
Drakaitis had a single in his last at-bat, his first collegiate hit, looking to continue on that, facing the 0-2 count now.
Dom Owens, Nick Rensberger on deck and in the hole for CUC respectively as the next offering for Drakaitis found back again, so he'll stay alive. As that pitch high makes it 1-2. I also believe we have a new right fielder in the game for North Central. Placing Yuki Yamada is number 2, Peyton Berg. So Coach Matthew going with a defensive change in the outfield as well as on the mound. Meanwhile, Dracaitis works himself to a 2-2 count. As here's the pitch. Dracaitis lines that one into center field. How about another base hit for Dracaitis? He's going to slow down after turning first base. Walks back in, so goes from having no collegiate hits to 2 in as many bats. And he puts the leadoff runner on for Dom Owens. You see catcher walked in his first at-bat in the second. Eventually came home to score a run. And then he flew out in the 3rd inning. So he's looking to get back on base in this inning. As Owens swings through the first pitch on Corbett, got a piece of it. That's why it got past Nuccio.
Dracaitis over on first for the Cougars. No attempts at a stolen base so far this season, so not too sure what the freshman's capabilities are as far as base running. But the Cougars have been fairly aggressive on the base paths today. Not only stolen bases, but attempting to take extra bases on hits. So wouldn't be surprised to see if first base coach Gary Maynard sends him on some of these questionable pitches.
That ball fouled off, so count will go to 1-2 now on Owens. Cougars on top here, 8-1. Half those runs coming off one swing from Tyler Dorsch, a grand slam. Tyler Grader also adding a solo shot as Owens is going to look at strike 3. Corbett gets his first K of the day. And with the runner still on, 1 out now, we will have a pinch hitter for CUC. Batting for Nick Rensberger in the DH spot, it is Caleb Anderson. A 5th-year had his senior day this past Saturday. Meanwhile, during the season, .299 average in 26 games played, 67 at-bats, 20 hits out of it. Now he gets a chance to do something with a runner at first. 1 out on the board.
Anderson, another one of those bodies that we've seen play consistently in that DH role for the Cougars. Hitting a .299 on the season, made 26 total appearances, 17 starts. So not a unfamiliar face here for the Cougar squad.
Takes a looking strike from Corbett. As Corbett now gets set.
Anderson 1 for 4 yesterday in the win over the Scarlet Hawks, 1 RBI. So a good bat at the plate for the Cougars.
Here's the next offering to Anderson outside. So now it'll be 1-1. On the CUC pinch hitter here. Likely to stay in the DH spot and get back around to him. Corbett checks Dracaitis at first and now delivers, fouled off. So 1-2 count now on Anderson. Corbett, the lefty on the mound for North Central. The senior delivers outside. Dracaitis is going to take off for second. The throw is not in time. Dracaitis able to beat it out. So first stolen base attempt of his career, and it turns into a stolen base. And with a 2-2 count on Anderson, he's now got a man in scoring position to work with.
It's exactly what I was talking about a little bit earlier. You know, Cougars not necessarily needing to be super aggressive, again, with a lead this great and still a lot of game to play, but taking advantage of the things, seeing what a freshman can do, as he's going to take another base there.
And that ball gets away from Nuccio. He's had some troubles keeping it in front of him. Oh, yeah, another passed ball to Nuccio. And now another CUC run just 90 feet from the plate. Anderson, meanwhile, 3-2 count with Alejandro Munoz, who's 2 for 2 on deck. Here's a 3-2 from Corbett, and Anderson puts it in play. Drakaitis, he's going to hold, and now the throw to first in time. Good play there by Scamucci to check Drakaitis at third before making the throw over to first.
That's a very experienced play there for Scamucci, being able to collect that ball with plenty of time, be able to check the runner at third before making that easy play over to first. Holding off another run, that's something that you can just tell an experienced player from an inexperienced one based on things like that.
Well, now it'll be up to Alejandro Munoz to try and move Drakaitis to home. Munoz has to reach safely here to keep the inning alive, has to get a hit to score Drakaitis as he looks at strike one.
Munoz 2 for 2 on the day so far, 2 singles, as he's been pretty powerful at the plate, looking to keep things going. The Cougars overall been 3 for 5 with 2 outs, 4 for 9 with runners in scoring position, and 6 for 16 with runners on base. So really good stats here for the Cougars in a situation like this.
Meanwhile, Munoz has worked it to an 0-2 count. Found that last pitch off as Corbett trying to end the inning here. Gets set and delivers. Munoz puts that one foul as well, so we'll stay alive here. Count remains 0-2. Drakaitis trying to come home, scores first collegiate run. As the next offering to Munoz, that's put into the 6-hole. Good hit there. Alejandro Munoz just pokes it into left field, and that'll be an RBI single for Munoz. And the Cougars, they tack another run on. And with a man on first, 2 outs, it'll be a Sean Boswell to try to keep the inning going.
I mean, what a fantastic outing for the freshman shortstop, Alejandro Munoz, being able to go 3 for 3 so far at the plate, putting a ball in play with 2 outs there, scoring a run. You know, a great outing for this freshman.
As the first pitch to Boswell, high and in for ball one. Boswell hit by a pitch in his first at-bat, came home to score a run, and then doubled in his second at-bat, came home to score a run as well. So Boswell making his way around the base paths in both of his trips. And now the 1-0, he's going to hold off of, but look at a strike 1-1.
Munoz over on first, 0 for 1 on stolen bases. Assistant coach Gary Maynard talking to him a little bit, whispering some things in his ear. Potentially, again, seeing some more stolen bases. Cougars been very aggressive here.
2-1 count now on Boswell. Here's the 2-1. Boswell takes outside. 3-1 now. Munoz over at first. Eli Hickman standing in the on-deck circle. Boswell has to reach safely to get to Hickman. As here's the pitch to Boswell. Boswell skyrockets that one up. And it looks like it's going to drift just foul, but making the grab was number 16, Jackson Bland, the third baseman. Lost his hat in the process, but he tracks down a tough fly ball. And the Cougars strand a man on base, but get 1 run on the board. Alejandro Munoz, an RBI single. So we head now to the top of the 6th. CUC on top of North Central 9-1. More for you when we're back in just a second on the Cougar Sports Network.
Concordia University Chicago is a Christ-centered Lutheran university where truth, freedom, and vocation form students for lives of influence and service for the common good. Our university offers a wide variety of undergraduate and graduate degree options that are available in person and online. That means we have a program designed for you. Whether you're a high school student, an adult returning to complete your degree, or someone looking to enhance your credentials and prepare for career growth. As a member of this university community, you'll also find support in your spiritual and personal life so you can grow in the faith and discover ways to serve others. To start your next journey with us, visit cuchicago.edu today.
Another new face on the mound for CUC, and it will be number 44, Kyle Stahn. 3 appearances and a 0 ERA to boot, 1-0 record, has pitched 1 inning per appearance. And his first challenge of the day is Jackson Bland. Made that nice catch to end last inning. As he swings on that pitch, grounder, Boswell scoops it up to throw to first in time for out number 1.
Taking a look at David Gutierrez's final stats: 1 inning pitched, no hits, no runs, no strikeouts, only 4 batters faced, total of 13 pitches. So a great outing for Gutierrez. Again, seeing the night shift go 1 inning at a time and doing their job, handing things off to the next guy. Gutierrez truly epitomized doing his job and handing it off to the next guy.
That ball popped up, and it's going to be in shallow left. Dorsch making chase, grabs the ball right before the foul line for out number 2.
Quick 2 outs here. Cougars really trying to get things done quickly, handing things off to the next guy, as I said. And, I mean, with only 3 pitches thrown so far, what a fantastic start off here.
And we're going to have a pinch batter here. So pinch hitting for Taylor Kujak is number 6. That is Michael Davis, senior out of St. Charles, Illinois.
Davis hitting a .231 on the season, just 12 appearances so far, but 11 starts, 9 total hits in 39 at-bats with 5 RBIs.
He takes a strike there from Stahn. It'll be a 1-1 count. As the next pitch to Davis, and he lines that one into center field. So Davis gets the call from the bench and delivers. Thought about second, puts on the brakes and heads back to first. So a 2-out single for Michael Davis, and will now bring up Dave Fitzpatrick. He's driven in the only run of the day for North Central, a sac fly RBI in the top of the 4th inning. Other than that, he has struck out swinging. See what he can do here with 2 outs, a man on first. The first pitch, slow pitch there, outside as well. 1-0 on Fitzpatrick. Stahn gets the sign he likes, and that ball lifted into center field. Eli Hickman coming in and making the grab for out number 3. The Cardinals, they strand one runner, and we head to the bottom of the sixth now. CUC still well in control of this game. 9-1 is your score. We'll have more for you when we're back in just a second on the Cougars Sports Network. Eli Hickman will get us started here in the bottom of six, and now he fouls that down on the first base line.
Seeing some movement down in the Cardinal bullpen here. Cougars obviously keeping a handful of arms fresh, seeing some throwing down there, but the Cardinals been pretty consistent with the handful that they've been working with today, but we're seeing some movement down there. As Hickman takes ball one for the 1-1 count here. Hickman 1 for 2 at the plate so far today with a walk.
Now I'll take a 2-1 count. As Corbett set and delivers outside. So 3-1 count now on Eli Hickman. As Corbett gets set and delivers outside. Ball 4 issued to Eli Hickman.
Mentioned it earlier, but Hickman, this is his second walk of the game as the Cougars' leading hitter. He has the second most walks on this team. That was his 27th walk of the season, so a difficult hitter to pitch to, but when he does get those strikes, he takes advantage of it. Like I mentioned before, leading the Cougar squad with a 371 batting average. And Dorsch at the plate now, second on the team with a 339 batting average, and Dorsch is the one that leads this Cougar team in walks, 33 so far on the season. So another hitter that's difficult to pitch to, but capitalizes when he gets the right pitch.
0-1 on Dorsch after that strike. Dorsch so far ground out, a fly out, but of course the big hit of the game, a grand slam in the second inning. That's where 4 of the Cougars' 9 runs have come from. As Corbett getting set here. It's a sign from Nuccio behind the plate. Now delivers. Hickman's going to take off. It won't matter. That's a hit into left field. Hickman will stop at second. Base knock for Tyler Dorsch. And the Cougars have 2 runners on still. No one out for Tyler Crater at the plate.
This Cougar team playing at home, like we mentioned, a successful team when playing at home, and you'd have to think that a part of that is the home field advantage of having their own walk-up songs playing. This Cougar squad has a diverse selection of walk-up songs, arguably some of the best songs, of all time, as you previously heard there from Tyler Crater, but a handful of the Cougars have some Natasha Bedingfield on their walk-up song roster. So a really good roster of walk-up songs.
I haven't heard the Macarena yet, and I think you typically hear that one at the ballpark, but missing from the Thunderdome. So add that to the list of all the improvements we've talked about today. Cafe, lights, and the Macarena.
You can't deny, Peter, that the ideas that are flowing here at the Thunderdome are top-notch. Just need some funding and some people to listen to us when we come with those ideas. So if there's a donor out there that wants to help donate to getting these new cafeteria and facilities and things for us to make our dreams come true, you can hit the thank button on the YouTube page here, make those donations, and get that moving for us here. Get some salads and sandwiches and chicken wraps at the Thunderdome.
Excellent transition, Kayla, expert. Well, we're breaking up the mound visit here as Cougars, two of their best runners on the mound, as now we get ready for the next pitcher in the game as well. It'll be at number 31, Colby Gaither, freshman out of Bakersfield, California, from all the way to Naperville, Illinois to play for the Cardinals. Now he gets a chance here against the Cougars with 2 runners on, no one out yet.
Cougars having some fun in the dugout currently, seeing a little game of catch, seeing some basketball being played with a baseball. Just trying to have a little bit of fun here at the Thunderdome for the last time for the season.
As for their North Central counterparts, Sam Corbett's day is done. 1 inning pitch, gave up 3 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. And he did so across 31 total pitches.
As we see athletic communications student worker and Cougar pitcher Dave Daimling doing the solid and bringing the base running umpire some water there. A really respectable thing from Daimling there, making sure that these umpires stay hydrated, giving him a little wink there as he left the field in a hurry.
Well, Tyler Crater at the plate now. First Cougar batter to face Gaither, as he's working with a 27 ERA on the season. 2 runners on, nobody out. First pitch to Crater, and he's going to take for a strike. Crater today, single, a walk, and a home run, solo shot. So he's having a productive day at the plate. See what he can do here against another Cardinals pitcher. Gaither is set. Checks Hickman dancing around, and now Hickman's going to take off. So is Dorsch, and that ball is lifted into right as the runners have to retreat. It's a good double steal, but Crater flies out to right field. So Hickman and Dorsch have to go back to second and first, and now it'll be Michael Kasich to try and make something happen here. Kasich 1 for 3. Fly out, ground out, and a single so far today.
A double steal attempt there from Hickman and Dorsch shows that this Cougar squad is not letting up despite having the 9-1 lead over the Cardinals here. They're going to keep playing their game the way that they've been playing, and being aggressive on the base paths is exactly the way that they've been looking at doing so.
Kasich takes a strike, so 0-1 count on the Cougars' first baseman. As the next offering, and Kasich lifts that one deep into left field. It's still going back, tracking it as Roach. He makes the grab. Hickman, he's going to tag up and go for third, and the throw is not in time. Eli Hickman, good run there to get from second to third. And with 2 outs, it'll now be up to Connor Drakaitis to make something happen. A pair of singles in his 2 at-bats since taking over for Julio Cajigas in the 5-hole. Did that in the third. See what he can do here with runners on the corners. Maybe a chance to snag RBI number 1 on the year. And in his career as he knocks that one foul.
Runners on the corner bags. Hickman over at third. We saw a similar situation to this, attempting the double steal, and with Nuccio making the throw down to second, it gave Hickman the opportunity to steal home. So would not be surprised if we see Dorsch attempting to steal a base here, but potentially Nuccio letting that happen and not letting that run score the same way that he did the last time.
0-2 count on Drakaitis. As the next pitch just misses high. Looked like a good pitch from here. No love from home plate umpire Just Fahey. As the next offering, Dorsch is going to take off for second, and Nuccio learned from his mistake before. He's just going to keep that ball in his hand, give Dorsch the base, and let Hickman stand and watch at third. Good decision there from the North Central backstop.
Absolutely. It's the right call. Like you said, learning from your mistakes and seeing that Hickman is the type that he's going to take advantage of any opportunity and find a way in. And so Nuccio holding on that, allowing Dorsch to take second base, was absolutely the right call there.
3-2 count on Drakaitis now fills up the count. As the pitch from Gaither is going to be low, ball 4. He had a free base to give up, and he did so. It loads the bags with 2 outs, and it'll be up to Dom Owens to try and make something happen here. Owens, a walk in the second, since then a fly out in the third, and a strikeout looking in the 5th. And he's got the bags loaded. Needs to reach safely, though, to keep the inning alive and score a run or 2 here.
Cougars 4 for 7 at the plate when operating with 2 outs. Bases loaded here, something that we saw earlier for the Cougars when Dorsch hit his grand slam. But Dom Owens at the plate having a little bit of a quieter day. So looking to capitalize, like you mentioned, Peter. Just a base hit here to keep this inning alive.
Fouls off a pitch to make it 0-2 now. Just 1 strike needed from Gaither. The pitch and another foul ball. So Owens will stay alive. That one made its way onto the football field, kicking up some turf. Back here on the baseball field, Gaither gets set for the 0-2 pitch. The delivery inside, ball 1. Caleb Anderson on deck for CUC, which means he is for sure taking over the designated hitter spot. As the next offering to Owens, he's going to get out of the way of ball 2, so 2-2 count. 5-pitch at bat so far here for Owens, as Gaither going to try and end it here with the strike. The pitch, and Owens drives that one into right. Is it going to get down? It does! Berg lost it in the sun. It scores 1. It scores 2. Coming home to try and score is Drakaitis. He's going to get in easily. Bases clearing double for Dom Owens, and CUC keeps piling it on. It is 12-1 now.
A fantastic hit for Dom Owens to get that like you said, clear the bases, and an unfortunate circumstance for Berg out there. The sun's starting to set, make it a little bit difficult to see, but overall a hard ball for Berg to get to anyway, still making the diving attempt for it, but the Cougars able to tack on 3 runs from it. Dom Owens doing exactly what the Cougars needed in that situation to keep this inning alive.
I think almost any other time of day, Berg probably would have had that grab. He was right on top of it, but you can see he was fighting with the sun for it. Either way, it makes it an 11-run lead for CUC, which means we are officially in run rule territory as that pitch misses to Anderson. The team's up by 10 after 7 innings. They are officially the winner, so CUC just 3 outs away now from run ruling a good North Central squad when they get back on defense. As Anderson says, we're not going to defense just yet, pokes that into left field. Owens is going to hold at third. That's a 2-out base knock for Caleb Anderson. Puts runners on the corners for one of the best hitters today for the Cougars, Alejandro Munoz. 3 at-bats, 3 singles, including a run scored and an RBI. He's got a chance to add on another one here, a runner 90 feet from the plate.
You mentioned it, Peter. Munoz having a fantastic day at the plate, 3 for 3. Getting things going here for this Cougar squad.
First pitch is in there for a strike to Munoz.
So runners on the corner bags. Dom Owens.
As that ball way over the head. That'll be a wild pitch. I think there's maybe confusion if it got a piece of Munoz's bat, which was still on his shoulder. And that's why Owens didn't take off. It also got back into the glove of Nuccio quickly. Either way, it is a ball, so 1-1 count on Munoz now. And here's the pitch. Munoz is going to take low and in. Ball 2.
Cougars still operating with 2 outs here.
And that's going to be another base hit. They'll continue to operate with 2 outs. The inning's going to stay alive. RBI single for Alejandro Munoz. 4 for 4, all singles, a pair of RBIs for the freshman scores. Dom Owens and the Cougars now make it 14-1. They just keep building this lead here.
I mean, the Cougars are having a fantastic day at the plate. 7 for 10 with 2 outs. 15 for 29 overall. So arguably, statistically, the Cougars are hitting better when there's 2 outs versus any other opportunity. So now corner bags occupied. You've got Munoz over on first. Cougars continuing to be aggressive on the base paths. I mentioned earlier that Munoz only 0 for 1 on stolen bases this season, but something the Cougars have been attacking heavily so far this game.
Well, now the Cougars give the bat to a pinch hitter, Sergio Vasquez Jr., as he now has a 1-1 count. Vasquez, a senior from Concord, California, honored in Saturday's Senior Day festivities. And on the year, some limited chances for Vasquez. 7 games appeared in. He has not recorded an official at-bat yet. Has scored 3 runs, however. As he lifts this one into left field, Roach getting under and making the grab for the final out. But the Cougars, they add on 4 more, and that puts them in run rule territory. 3 more outs is all it takes for CUC to secure the victory. We'll see who they throw out in the mound in just a second when we're back on the Cougar Sports Network in just a second.
Cougar Nation, it's your favorite set of twins, Brandon and Jake. We're coming at you with a commercial.
We love the support you give us on and off the field. To donate to our athletic communications department, hit the thank you button. This helps us continue to have the best live streams possible for some great Cougar baseball moments.
Thank you and enjoy the game. Roll Cougs!
For the Cougars, Vasquez remains in the game, now playing second base. And pitching for the Cougars is number 16, Xavier Zigerman.
Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. Cougars 3 outs away from run ruling the Cardinals. They lead 13-1. I want to remind fans that you can find all updates on CUC Athletics on our athletics page, cucougars.com. And it's, he hits number 2 in the head, the batter. Is Peyton Berg. So hit by pitch from the new CUC. It is Xavier Zagerman checking into the game to try and shut this game down. Not the best start. Nailing your first batter, in the helmet.
Another pinch hitter here for the Cardinals. In number 4, Colby Fuji.
Your attention, please. Batting for the catcher, Nuccio.
Fuji hitting a 300 on the season, 16 total appearances, only 3 starts, 6 hits in his 20 at-bats. Looking to get something going here for the Cardinals late in the game.
Batting for the catcher, Danny Nuccio. As Zagerman gets set, trying to shake off, as that's a ball line pass to Sergio Vasquez Jr. That's going to put 2 runners on. Still nobody out. 1 pitch single for Colby Fuji. On the season, Zagerman, 29.08 ERA across 5 appearances, 4 1/3 of work. And how about another pinch hitter for you? It is number 36 for North Central. That is Vincent Merlo.
Merlo, 7 appearances on the season, 2 starts, hitting a 167. Only 2 hits in his 12 at-bats. So Cardinals looking for just some fresh hitters here late in the game.
They need to score 3 runs to keep themselves from being run ruled. It's a 10-run or more lead. CUC currently sitting at a 12-run lead. As the next offering's in the dirt, Owens, good block there. So 1-1 the count now on Vincent Merlo. Fuji at first, Berg over at second.
Quiet day here in the Thunderdome. Not many fans out here for the late game. Cougars missing their loudest fans in the stands. Assistant pitching coach Matt Smith's kids, Kennedy and Easton, normally getting the crowd riled up. Not present at today's game. Watching from home, cheering the Cougars on. So overall, just a quiet day at the Thunderdome.
That pitch in the dirt, 3-1 on Merlo. Oh, CUC trying to give the fans in attendance something happy to go home about with a finale win. Well in control of the game. See if they can do it in a shortened game here. They need just 3 more outs. They'll run rule the Cardinals. Cardinals 3 runs, and we will have to play at least 8 innings as the next pitch is low, ball 4, so that'll load the bases. Bags loaded, still no one out. And now it'll be our regularly scheduled number 1 batter, Luke Laynard. Laynard so far 0 for 2. The line out, and it reached on an error as his first pitch is in the dirt. Dom Owens able to get in front of it. Zigerman. Next offering in the dirt again. 2-0 count.
Cardinals only 2 for 11 with runners on and 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. So struggling to get the bats to life when there's some runners on base. But Zagerman already facing the 2-0 count here, needing to make the Cardinals work for these runs here instead of delivering a walk again to score a run.
The run to prevent the run rule is at first right now, as the next pitch in the dirt, 4-pitch walk. So that'll walk a run in, an RBI walk for Luke Lanen. Pushes Berg across home. Fuji over at third, and Merlot at second, as now the Cougars bring the infield, the corners and the catcher in. They have a chat with their freshman on the mound, Zagerman. John Michael Scumaci waits at home plate for his at-bat.
Zagerman, a freshman on this Cougar squad. We've seen him on the mound as well as in the field. So faced some stressful moments here, just needing to get out of this inning. Loaded the bases up and can easily work his way out of it. We've seen the Cougars come away after a handful of walks before with minimal damage done, and Zagerman fully capable of doing so here.
As the first pitch to Scumaci's in there for a strike. So the mound visit yields at least 1 strike out of Zagerman. See if you can keep the momentum going here. Bases loaded, still nobody out. As the pitch almost hits Scamucci, gets out of the way, 1-1. That runner at second, which is Merlot. That's the runner that needs to score to keep North Central's game alive. That ball in the dirt makes it 2-1.
Some movement down in the Cougar bullpen, potentially seeing a second pitcher coming in this inning, depending on what Zagerman can do here.
Next pitch will be ball 3, 3-1 count. Trying to avoid walking in another run here. The 3-1 from Zagerman. That ball is lifted deep into center. Going back for it is Hickman. Makes the grab, but 1 run should score here. It does. So a sac fly from Scamucci makes it a 13-3 game. And the Cougars, they want to walk out of here after just 6.5 innings played. They have to hold the Cardinals where they are now. Can't allow 1 more run to score.
Third baseman, number 16, Jackson Bland.
Zagerman, someone that hasn't thrown a lot of strikeouts this season, only 5 on the season. Being able to put the ball in play and force the field to do the same work that he's doing is a great way to get out of this inning. Like you mentioned, Cougars still holding the 10-run lead here, so if wanting to end this game a little bit early. Zagerman needing to hold the runners where they're at now and continue to make the field get these outs instead of focusing on these strikeouts here.
Well, they switch balls out, so see what a fresh ball can do for the freshman on the mound as he gets set here for the 1-0 to Jackson Bland. The pitch swung on and missed for a strike. Bland so far today 0 for 2, a fly out, a ground out. It was also hit by a pitch. Eventually came home with a score on that trip to the base paths. The next pitch fouled off, so 1-2 count. First time we've seen Zagerman up in the count like this during his at-bat. Zagerman, the righty, gets set. The freshman deals the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Huge strikeout for Xavier Zagerman on the mound. And that brings us to North Central's final out of the day if they don't score a run. And it'll be up to Trey Roach to keep the inning and the game alive for his North Central Cardinals. Roach so far grounded out to Michael Kasich, a double and a flyout. Needs to reach safely here. He's going to go fishing for the first pitch. Sergio Vasquez gloves it, throws it to second in time for the out. And that'll do it. So North Central shows some signs of life in the 7th. They score 2, but the Cougars run rule them 13-3. Your final score after 6.5 innings of work from the Thunderdome.
You know, Zagerman made me eat my words there, I was saying that we don't necessarily need to see a strikeout there, just make the team play in the field, and instead he does both. He secures strikeout number 6 on the season for himself and puts the ball into play on the ground, allows the infield to do the work, and Vasquez able to successfully glove it and get the out. So a really, really all-around performance from Zagerman. Struggled a little bit to get going, but stayed in the game, kept his head in the right space, and able to get himself out of a bit of a jam despite giving up 2 runs there in the top of the 7th.
So the Cougars come away with a 13-3 non-conference win. Let's look at some of the final statistics from the day. First, for the visiting Cardinals of North Central, RBIs courtesy of Luke Lanin, John Michael Scumaci, and Dave Fitzpatrick also driving a run. And the losing pitcher will go to the starter, Andrew Bowman. 4 innings deep he went and gave up 9 hits, 8 runs, 6 of which were earned, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts on the day for Bowman in his loss. Meanwhile, for CUC, the big hit of the day came from Tyler Dorsch, a grand slam to put him at 4 RBIs. Dom Owens grabbed himself 3 on the day, and Alejandro Munoz 4 for 4 with a pair of ribbies, and RBIs also coming from Eli Hickman and Tyler Crater, 1 apiece. While the Cougars, the win goes to Aiden Tehan. 1 inning pitched. It was the 2nd inning. He gave up 1 hit, struck out 1 across 18 total pitches. But what an outing from CUC as a whole, using 7 pitchers to great effect, only giving up 3 runs and securing the win over a talented North Central squad. The Cougars get 1 last non-conference win in the last home game at the Thunderdome. Let's get your final thoughts here before we close out on the Cougar Sports Network.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a win to close your home stretch here at the Thunderdome. No better way to go out than with a win. Cougars love playing at home and excel in every aspect when they're playing at the Thunderdome, as we saw today, being able to pick up some huge hits, a grand slam in the mix of it, and being able to take this momentum as you head into the final stretch of the regular season, You've got 2 very important doubleheaders coming up against Lakeland and Concordia, Wisconsin. They're essentially some must-win games in order to keep their playoff hopes alive. So having the momentum from this win, and especially playing a really solid team like the Cardinals, is a great way to go out on the home field.
So Cougars wrap up the home portion of a schedule, a 13-3 win over the North Central Cardinals. Want to say thanks to everybody making this production of the Cougar Sports Network possible. Lindley Southern and Sydney Lloyd are producers for the day. We are under the direction of Sydney Palaska-Slaher and our sports information director. Also joining me on the call, Kayla McLeod. Of course, a big thanks to Jim Egan, the public address announcer here at the Thunderdome, voice of the Thunderdome. Doing a great job as always. But we got a post-game interview coming up. Looks like Connor Drakaitis will be joining us on the Cougar Sports Network. So don't go anywhere just yet. Post-game interview with Connor Drakaitis coming up shortly. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, Peter Borkowski with you again, joined by freshman on the CUC baseball team, Connor Drakaitis. Connor, welcome to the Cougar Sports Network, and congrats on a big win over North Central, downing the Cardinals 13-3. Let's talk about you, though. You weren't in the starting lineup to begin. You got your first at-bat a couple innings into the game, batting for Julio Cajigas, and you eventually ended up getting your first collegiate hit while you're at it. 2 hits, a walk, a pair of runs as well. Just talk me through what was going in your head. I mean, did you see that one coming? Was it kind of out of nowhere? You just got the call up off the bench. Just what led to that and eventually led to your first hit as a college ball player?
My role on this team has really just been being a pinch hitter to this point. So basically it dates back to Coach Connor. One of his first things he told us was the best way to be ready is just to be ready.
Right.
You know, just be ready when your name gets called, and that's what I like to be, is just once we start playing, I'm always there.
And let's talk about the offense as a whole here. 13 runs up on the board in 7 innings. And really, there's only one big hit of the day. It was Tyler Dorsch. He had a 4 RBI grand slam. But other than that, there's a lot of just hits here and there, kind of moving the bases along, moving the lineup along. So talk about that approach just as the offense. I mean, you had a pair of singles yourself. Just next guy up, I'm just going to get my base hit, just keep the guys moving on the base paths.
Yeah, really, I just feel like just hit the fastball and pass it to the next guy, keep the innings going, and Cougs are hot. Cougs are hot, yeah.
Definitely. And you guys are back in conference play this Saturday, traveling to Lakeland University. You need a couple of conference wins here at the end of the year. How do you build off of what happened today at North Central? This was a non-con game, but how do you take what you did here, a 7-inning run rule victory, and translate that into Lakeland this Saturday and then the season finale against CU Dub next Friday?
Just continuing to play loose, continuing to play just having fun, playing loose, and we got some big games, and we'll be ready for them. Yep.
Definitely. Well, Connor, thanks for joining me. Congrats on the win and on your first college hit. I'm sure you're going to be treasuring that ball for a while. But the Cougars back in action this Saturday, a doubleheader at Lakeland University. Coverage for the game can be found at our website, cucougars.com. But until next time, this is Peter Borkowski signing off of the Cougar Sports Network and wanting to say, as always, go Cougars.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.